Graduation is a worth-noting event in a person's life. It defines success. A success that reminds them how they overcame the difficult journey amidst the crisis that we are facing right now.
All together, let us all celebrate the fruits of our labor, hardships, and sacrifices. The Laoac National High School proudly presents its Senior High School virtual commencement ceremonies for the school year 2020-2021 with the theme Strengthening the Quality of Education Amid the COVID-19 Pandemic.
Friends, guests, ladies and gentlemen, the Processional of Laoac National High School administrators, faculty and staff, together with the candidates for graduation batch 2020-2021. Let's give them a big virtual applause.
And now, let us give honor to our nation as we sing our national anthem, regional hymn, division hymn, and Laoac National High School hymn. This will be followed immediately by an opening prayer through an audiovisual presentation.
Pilipinas kong mahal, ang puso ko at buhay man sa iyo'y ibibigay. Tungkulin ko'y gagampanan na lagi kang paglingkuran. Ang laya mo'y babantayan, Pilipinas kong hirang. Ang bayan ko'y tanging ikaw, Pilipinas kong mahal.
Vast dim and rolling plains give life to the sturdy hands. Men, women, young and old find hope and glory in this fold. This home of great joy and gladness, of fertile lands and green valleys, nature that captures the eye and soul, hope let the heart of doubt and peace. East to west, from north to south, faithful ones pack and gather at the pilgrim of the north, whispering a common prayer resounding. Mabuhay, mabuhay, Pangasinan to I sing, mabuhay to you. Men, women, young and old find hope and glory in this fold. Oh, I sing mabuhay, Pangasinan too.
Sa pagsibol ng kamalayan, mga murang kaisipan, umaapaw sa katanungan, uhaw sa kasagutan, o aming inang paralan. Ikaw ang nagbibigay ng liwanag, liwanag ng katotohanan, sa'yo'y natatamot, nakakamtan. O Laoac National High School, ikaw ang aming sandigan, pag-asa sa kinabukasan ng ating inang bayan. O Laoac National High School, ikaw ang aming gabay, bukal ng pag-asa sa tunay na pagsulong ng ating inang bayan. Sa pag-usbong ng mga munting pangarap, mga pusong naglilingkod, gagapay sa pagtuklas, katuwang sa magandang bukas, gabay sa pagtubog, mga karanasan at kaalaman, taglay tuwi na ang alab sa pagtugon sa tawag na kasabay ng pagkumpas ng lumikha. Gagapay ka inang paralan sa pagguhit ng kinabukasan. Tigib ng pag-ibig, walang takot, walang galit. Dala ay pag-asa sa pagsibol ng tunay na perlas ng silangan. O Laoac National High School, ikaw ang aming sandigan, pag-asa sa kinabukasan ng ating inang bayan. O Laoac National High School, ikaw ang aming gabay, bukal ng pag-asa sa tunay na pagsulong ng ating inang bayan. O Laoac National High School, ikaw ang aming sandigan, tanglaw sa kadiliman, gabay sa pagtahak ng paraisong pinangako ng butihing may kapal.
To set the tone of today's affair, let us have on our screen Dr. Asme Diag Palo, Principal 4 of Laoac National High School, for her welcome remarks and her message to the graduates.
To God be the highest glory. To the proud parents, the administration and staff, stakeholders, friends and relatives, you are most welcome to this prestigious and most memorable event, the virtual graduation. Congratulations to the high school graduates of Laoac National High School Batch 2021. You all deserve to celebrate and be proud of yourselves, even though we don't have traditional ceremony and opt for virtual graduation instead because of the circumstances that we face today. This has been a challenging and unique experience for you, and we have seen you grow and flourish despite of the struggles. The Department of Education, together with your teachers, school administration, parents, and stakeholders, we have provided you quality education as we do in this year's theme, strengthening the quality of education amid the COVID-19 pandemic. The situation we are living through shows how valuable everyone in the society is, how they strengthen the educational landscape that we have in the new normal. It truly takes a village to raise a child. Everyone have kept the faith with us despite all the setbacks and obstacles amidst this crisis. I thank everyone in this society who in one way or another have helped us meet and realize one of the goals of the Department of Education, which is to equip you with the most essential learning competencies that you can use to higher education and to your daily lives. This year has been no other. Your dedication, tenacity, and fortitude during this pandemic is so much to be admired of. I hope your dreams take you to the corner of your smiles, to the highest of your hopes, to the windows of your opportunities, and to the most special places your heart has ever known. Class of 2021, congratulations, you did it!
And now, to inspire our graduates with their words of wisdom, let us be all ears to the messages from the Father of our municipality, Honorable Mayor Ricardo D. Valderas, From the Chief of School Governance and Operation Division, Dr. Rosalino T. Apalo Jr. From the Officer in Charge, Assistant Schools Division Superintendent, Dr. Arlene B. Casipit. And from the Schools Division Superintendent, Dr. Danilo C. Sison.
Sa ngalan ng pamahalaan lokal ng Laoac at opisina ng punong alkalde, ako po ay inyong lingkod, Mayor Ricardo Dispo Valderas, na bumabati ng maligayang pagtatapos sa batch 2020-2021. Batid kong hindi naging madali ang daan tinahak ninyo dahil sa kinakarap nating pandemya. Ngunit hindi ito naging hadlang upang tayo ay hindi magpatuloy sa pagiging matatag at matyaga upang makamtan natin ang yaman ng edukasyon. Ngayon din ang aking pagbati sa inyong mga magulang sa kanilang paggabay at pagsuporta sa inyo. Maraming salamat din sa ating mga magigiting na guro na walang kapaguran sa paggabay sa lahat ng mag-aaral. Ipagmalaki natin ang araw na ito. Mabuhay po tayong lahat. Muli, maligayang pagtatapos. Laoac National High School, Batch 2020-2021.
The proud parents and guardians, partners, stakeholders, school officials, teachers, friends, ladies and gentlemen, a pleasant day to everyone. Situated in this new normal atmosphere, we don't have the usual and traditional way of culminating the school year, recognizing the outstanding graduates and celebrating the success of our children who are graduating today. Having hurdled the strenuous requirements of graduation. Despite the hardship, sacrifices, and stressful situation that we are in, brought about by this pandemic, our teachers, parents, and stakeholders work hard collaboratively to ensure the continuity of learning among our school children using all the available media to facilitate its acquisition. The SDO Pangasinan 2 wish to congratulate our proud graduates batch 2021. Our warmest greetings to our school managers, teachers, staff, parents, and guardians who have helped and guided our graduates attain this momentous event in their lives. Graduation is a testimony to the enduring and resilient spirit of the Filipinos for their ability to stand up, to bounce back, and to conquer the odds, just like the ongoing hardship and challenging brought about by the COVID-19 pandemic. Through our innate optimism to see the light and the end of every challenges in life. For so many times, we have proven that we can surmount any adversity by sharing a hand with each other in times of darkness and trials. The many challenging moments we have endured tempted us sometimes to give up,
but our hearts refuses to be broken by debt distress. We don't lose our hope because of the strong faith we share with each other, even in the most trying time of circumstances. We may be battered, but definitely never defeated. Having undergone a lot of honing and guidance through the patient, loving and caring tutelage of your teachers, you graduates are now ready to face the new chapter of your educational journey. Life challenges may not be easy, but you have learned at home and in the school that a success never comes easy the way we wish it, but rather through hard work and perseverance, inspired by our Divine Almighty, which serves as our guiding light. To the graduates, again, my congratulations. We wish you all the best in your journey towards reaching your dreams and aspirations. God bless and mabuhay.
To do the honors of presenting this school year's candidates for graduation, let us have on our screen our school principal, Dr. Esme T. Agpalo. This will be followed right away by the acceptance and confirmation by our school's division superintendent, Dr. Danilo C. Season.
By virtue vested in me as Principal 4 of Laoac National High School, Laoac, Pangasinan, I have the honor to present to you the 149 candidates for graduation for school year 2020-2021, of whom are 68 males and 81 females. I hereby certify further that they have satisfactorily completed all the requirements of the K-12 basic education curriculum prescribed by the Department of Education, Bureau of Secondary Education. May I respectfully request for your conferment, sir.
By virtue of the authority vested in me by the DepEd Secretary Leonor Magtoles Briones, through the Regional Director, Dr. Tolentino G. Aquino, and in my capacity as the School's Division Superintendent of SDO Pangasinan 2, acting upon the strong recommendations of your school head and teachers, that you have satisfactorily completed all the requirements for graduation prescribed by the DepEd on elementary or secondary education. I now accept and confirm you graduates of your respective schools for the school year 2020-2021. On the day of our Lord, July 2021, thereby granting you the right to enjoy all the privileges attached to it. Congratulations.
The great reward that parents receive is to see their children receive their certificates, awards, and diplomas. That moment you have been waiting for has finally come. You will now receive your diploma as the fruit of your labor and as a symbol of accomplishment. Let us watch our graduates and awardees in both academic and technical vocational track. Let's give them a big virtual applause. Starting up, academic track, general academics track, advisor, Mr. Marlon D. Buenavista.
Castillo Jamil Nimes. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Ramil S. Castillo. Decano Junar Jr. Gutierrez. With honors, parents, Mr. and Mrs. Junar S. Decano Sr. Dolioso Rogelio Jr. Madril. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Rogelio A. Dolioso. Dolores James Clifford Aquino. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Renato F. Dolores. Evangelista Ariel Velasco. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Elmer P. Evangelista. Gatchalian Michael Kenneth Briones. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Edgar D. Gatchalian. Moleta J.B. Corpuz. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Benito P. Moleta. Orteza Wendell Rosuelo. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Virgilio R. Orteza. Paco Dranreb Joves. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Danilo T. Paco. Pulido John Chris Alexis Acosta. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Alexander A. Pulido. Ringor John Ray Vilda, with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Jerry P. Ringor. Riola Johan Cercis Opilas. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Julius R. Riola. Salinas Alan Godoy, with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Carlos L. Salinas. Villena John Lawrence Tabilin. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Joselito T. Villena.
Agustin Janeline Andres. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Jerry Q. Agustin. Alvarez Stephanie Pom, with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Jipril M. Alvarez. Aquino Christine, with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Darius P. Soto. Austria Mika Almiñana. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Quentin S. Austria. Balaod Kimberly Soreda, with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Joel D. Balaod. Balbino Maika Javier. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Gary D. Balbino. Cabana Jovelyn Danao. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Glenn D. Cabana. Cabanayan Melissa Hidalgo, with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Nestor T. Cabanayan. Kabansag Marivic Tarape. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Pinaro L. Kabansag. Castillo J.Ann Patubo. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Jason U. Castillo. Contawe Caitlin Mea Gali, with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Fortunato J. Contawe. Cuenca Hazel Ann Kanya. with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Miguelito G. Cuenca. Dalumpines Rosalind Medrano, with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Robert A. Dalumpines. Decano Austin Jobel Remandaban. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Joel C. Decano. Dumipig Avelin Peru. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Armando E. Dumipig. Esmeralda Gemaline Maicon, with high honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Roger H. Esmeralda. Madelo Jules May Nama, with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Julius B. Madelo. Martin Alexa Grace Molina, with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Roberto M. Martin. Martinez Cassandra Abok. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Romulo T. Martinez. Marzo Sheila May Doque. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Lodevico V. Marzo. Mata Noah Angelica Agpalo. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Allen L. Mata. Maure Aliana Jamie. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Benjamin F. Monar Sr. Medriano Romelin Espiritu, with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Roberto M. Medriano. Mejia Tonet Peralta, with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Antonio T. Mejia. Minor Erica Tabayoyong. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Eduardo C. Minor. Molina Mary Lourdes, with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Alex D. Ribuyo. Orpia Nicole Castillo. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Jonathan J. Orpia. Pasqua Sheila Abiliera, with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Mariano A. Pasqua. Paulino Lani Garcia, with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Leonardo C. Paulino. Polido Judy Ann Sampaga. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Cornelio V. Pulido. Soriano Eliza May Tibay, with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Rodrigo B. Soriano. Tabahonda Cristalin Caballero. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Roldan L. Tabahonda. Tabahonda Presi Caballero. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Roldan L. Tabahonda. Takaka Marilu Sevidal, with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Isagani Rodel Takaka. Tadena April Ann Parilla, with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Roberto M. Tadena. Tinko Marinel Cabana. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Rodilon C. Tinko. Tolentino Eloisa. With honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Ramon D. Obero. Velasco Janame Sacules. With honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Michael F. Velasco. Villan Maricar Adoptante. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Lorenzo V. Kawile. Humanities and Social Sciences. Advisor, Mrs. Lani C. Mangsay.
Affinier Jeremy Lorian. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Federico A. Affinier. Albarida Mark Chester. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Arnold B. De Vera. Ferrer Jobert Domingo, with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Camilo O. Ferrer Jr. Madelo Noel John Corpus. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Emmanuel B. Madelo. Paulino Carl Vincent De Leon. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Melchor C. Paulino. Pingol Mark Albert de la Rosa. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Alan C. Pingol. Ramirez Junel Cobillanos. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Bienvenido G. Ramirez. Reyasonda Melbert Velasco. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Roberto B. Reyasonda. Santos Ricardo Mababa. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Virgilio L. Santos.
Auditor Giselle Belenia. With honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Lucilo and Auditor. Chavez Rufa Jane. With honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Rufo O. Castillo. Elcano Sheila May Rebamonte. With honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Jesus J. Elcano. Gaviola Carla Patrice Paraino. With honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Roger D. Gaviola. Makalalay Vanessa May Obero. With honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Jonathan and Makalalay. Minor Kimberly Lanza. With honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Rosaldo C. Minor. Monar Maika. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Wilson E. Usal. Paulino Annabel Nera. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Reynaldo C. Paulino. Perez Brenzeline Calagin. With honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Alejandro C. Perez. Takbas, Jamaica, Baguio. With honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Jonathan M. Shapno.
Next, from the Technical Vocational Livelihood Track, Information Communications Technology. Advisor, Mr. Jarwin M. Escalona.
Abaco Mark Jason Valdez. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Marcelino O. Abaco Jr. Aquino Alexander Kadungo. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Glenard M. Aquino. Avellano Von Derek Fernando. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Edner Siron A. Avellano. Cabrido Daniel Duero. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Lazaro B. Cabrido. Carrera Adrian Crister Jacinto. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Ellie B. Carrera. De Vera Ariel Valdez. With honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Renato A. De Vera. Ilarco Nathaniel. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Romeo G. Timario. Esteban Limuel Salazar. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Wilfredo P. Estiban. Heron Jericho Delphi. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Ricardo M. Heron. Habon Terence Joshua Rabe. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Virgilio P. Habon. Lamando Dominic Rabago. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Constantine C. Lamando. Maceda Christian Joseph Enriquez. With honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Ricardo D. Maceda. Mandigma Kenneth Melendez. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Ruben A. Mandigma Jr. Munda Cruz Kim Anderson Lazaro. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Jordan M. Munda Cruz. Salamat Jonald Ray Culiado. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Reynaldo B. Salamat. Takbas John Kenneth Pataran. With honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Edgar R. Takbas. Tanggilig Rogel Orihola. With honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Rodelito M. Tanggilig. Tapiz Jobel Dorian. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Johnny T. Tapiz.
Barlolong Nicole Valdez. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Melchor P. Barlolong. Corpus Leia Corpus. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Rogelio B. Corpus. Dakasin Maribel Espirito. With honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Dionisio C. Dakasin. Donato Julie Dayan Nerona. With honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Aida and Donato. Donato Nelly Corpus with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Napoleon S. Donato. Garcia Angeline Sanchez. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Diomedes A. Garcia. Javier Giselle Corpus with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Conrado A. Javier Sr. Likaykay Zarina May Bermudez. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Danny D. Likaykay. Lopez Apple Nases with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Crisanto I. Lopez. Manuel Mary Jane Bagan. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Mariano M. Manuel Jr. Molina Danica Dacasin with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Dante Molina. Obero Bernadette Tolentino with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Ramon D. Obero. Patalot Arian Pearl Nicomedes. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Ariel Y. Alejo. Prestosa Rosaline Mamaad. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Rick C. Prestosa. Ringor Babylin Padua with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Francisco M. Ringor. Soriano Jezreel Berna Tamayo with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Joey D. Soriano. Technical Vocational Livelihood Track. Agri-Fisheries Art major in Organic Agriculture. Advisory, Miss May Angelica L. Pagador.
Abanto Rafael Estibar. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Rufino D. Abanto. Abellera John Mark Adrian. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Rodel A. Renesura. Bantilan Sixto Junior Rosales. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Sixto R. Bantilan Sr. Caberto C.J. Castillo. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Santiago R. Caberto Jr. Karamat Vincent Christian Nerona. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Celestino A. Karamat. Carino John Lloyd Serami. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Dante C. Carino. Carino John Patrick Serami. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Dante C. Carino. Castillo Algene Javier. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Andres M. Castillo. Kasugay Mark. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Ricardo M. Espiritu. Chan John Michael Tadena. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Robert C. Chan. Corpus Mark Reden Erese. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Rogelio B. Corpus. Delphine Sylvester Datalio. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Silveriano E. Delphine. Fernandez Adrian Dialogo. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Eddie P. Fernandez. Ignacio Adrian Barrientos. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Orlando M. Ignacio. Lagwan Nathaniel Angeles. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Ricardo T. Lagwan. Medina John Romel Dagit. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Romel B. Medina. Molina David Dacase. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Dante F. Molina. Naces Fernando Jr. Sablaon. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Fernando F. Naces Sr. Naranja Brent J. Ringor. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Gilbert N. Naranja. Padua Rico Datalio. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Federico B. Padua. Patalod John Michael Villarojo. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Nelly B. Patalod. Ribuyo Menard Onofre Regua. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Minardo R. Ribuyo. Retuta Fernando Garcia. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Eric A. Rituta. Rayla Dino Pom with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Jerry A. Rayla. Tinko Dominador Jr. de la Cruz. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Dominador C. Tinko Sr. Valdez J. Ryan Patalot. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Marcelino N. Valdez. Velasco John Lawrence Iban. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Renato S. Velasco.
Andaya Mary Ann Ilarco. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Rolando R. Andaya. Balanag Kathleen Pula with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Elmer R. Balanag. Cañadido Angela Campo. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Dominador M. Cañadido. Sandanya Flora May Donato with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Freddy S. Sandanya. Del Campo Jeros Javier with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Jerry T. Del Campo. Dumalanta Rachel Tabayoyon with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Russell Q. Dumalanta. Fontanilla Bea May Pinco with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Rigomar C. Fontanilla. Herrero Marjorie Kasupang with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Jonel B. Herrero. Laguna Vanessa May Fernandez with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Virgilio M. Laguna Jr. Naces Maria Cristina Rodrigo. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Benjamin S. Naces. Ochinang Jolina Peru with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Benjamin E. Ochinang. Paulino Lizelle Garcia. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Leonardo C. Paulino. Pilien Melanie Carbonell. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. John R. Pilien. Tabayoyong Erica Villamangka with honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Ronnie P. Tulio. Velasco Erica Madera. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Elmer M. Velasco. Zamora Erica May Villanueva. With honors. Parents, Mr. and Mrs. Jovi M. Zamora. At this juncture, let us be all ears to the cream of the crop, Gemaline M. Esmeralda, as she tells her story and realizing her achievement as with high honors. Let's give her a big virtual applause.
Our diligent school principal, Dr. Esme P. Alfaro, dedicated senior high school assistant principal, Madam Joanna S. Lopez, head teachers of the different departments, faculty and staff, proud parents, fellow graduates, friends, to all online viewers, ladies and gentlemen, a pleasant afternoon. This academic year is tiring, stressful, full of sleepless nights, discouragement, and tears due to the COVID-19 pandemic that affected all the livelihoods of all people from different walks in life. We as students were and are still being greatly affected by it. As an incoming grade 12 student at that time, I was worrying and thinking about how can I cope up with this new setup of learning. I have no mobile phone to use, I have no internet, and even laptops. So, paano na ako? What if I can pass the whole semester? Such random questions in my mind add more pressure and apprehension for me to start this program. Due to the pandemic, we were not able to do the things that we usually do in school, like different activities, programs, competitions, and even bonding with our friends, classmates, and most especially with our teachers. But despite all of this, we were able to surpass such obstacles. Having a goal in life is an advantage for me to strive hard in my studies. Seeing my parents' hard work for us is the thing that motivates me to give my all and do my best. Back then, my goal for this school year is to make my parents proud, but God gave me the best surprising gift, and that is why I am speaking in front of you right now. It is not easy to achieve this destination, but if you want to get there and you want to make it happen, you have to persevere to it and have faith in God. I would like to take this opportunity to thank God. For without Him, none of these achievements will happen. To my parents, thank you for your hard work, unending emotional and financial support. Mama, salamat sa lahat ng suporta at pagmamahal. Tatay, salamat dahil sa kabila ng iyong kalagayan, pilit mo pa rin tinataguyod ang ating pamilya at kayo po ang aking sarili. Thank you for being my rock. Thank you, Tita Larna and Tita Ronnie, for always being there for supporting me. To my lolas, titos, titas, and my cousins, thank you for the love and affection you have given me. To all the teachers from the junior high and senior high school who were my mentors, thank you very much. All of you had an innermost contribution to who I am today. Thank you also for always believing in me and for helping me to maximize my full potential. Thank you for inspiring us and for giving us hope. We are grateful for all of you, for all the inspiration and guidance that you imparted to us. To my classmates from the grade 7 to 12, you guys are the ones who pushed me to make this dream come true. Thank you for the fantastic, amazing, and unforgettable memories. To my friends, Lani, Melissa, Alan, Romeline, Joanna, Shala, John Ray, Eliza, and Kimberly. Thank you for your laughters, tears, dreams in life, your gory jokes, our getaway together, and for consistently being there through my ups and downs. To my best friend, Jolene, Salamat sa pagsabi nito sa akin na kaya mo yan, ikaw pa. And for the encouragement. I learned the importance of true friendships with you guys. On behalf of my fellow graduates, we would like to express our deepest gratitude for all the knowledge, wisdom, and skills you have instilled in us for our future. Fellow graduates, this is the most awaited moment for each one of us. Our remarkable milestone. This is the sweetest fruit of our labor and hard work for the past 6 years. Life is like writing a book, full of chapters, and every ending is a new beginning. Let us face the challenges that we may encounter in the next level of our journey, which is our college life. I believe that life is a journey with problems to solve and lessons to learn, but most of all, experiences to enjoy. I also strongly believe that we, senior high school, class 2020-2021, are optimistic, promising, fighter, conqueror, and future leaders of tomorrow. Fellow graduates, congratulations for a job well done. To God be the highest glory. Thank you and mabuhay.
Graduation also marks the graduate's enlistment to the Laoac National High School Alumni Association. At this juncture, let us watch Alan G. Salinas with honors as he leads in reciting the Graduate's Pledge.
To all my fellow graduates, please raise your right hands and repeat after me. As a senior high school graduate, I hold my certificate and promise that it shall suffer no harm on my possession. I shall see to it that my conduct in deeds bring honor and glory to my alma mater. I pledge my life to the fulfillments of my duties and responsibilities. Whatever I do and wherever I go, I shall faithfully uphold to the best of my ability the ideals for which the Laoac National High School stands: loyalty, dedication, patriotism, scholarship, and industry.
And now, to bring back all the memories and moments of our graduates, let us watch them through video presentation in their graduation song.
We might not be walking across that stage with the cameras flashing. They've been waiting on our day. It's been a journey, hasn't it? I wouldn't trade a moment. No, I wouldn't change a moment. I'm who I am because of you. Whether we've known each other our whole life or just a year or two. And I'm grateful for the time we put in. whether we've known each other our whole life or just a year or two. And I'm grateful for the times we'll never forget, so we can be in this moment, right here in this moment. I'm grateful for our new beginnings, right here in this moment.
Today we reap the fruit of our labor. We march together with passion and fervor. The years were filled with memories we'll savor. To our parents we bring dignity and honor. Today we start a beautiful beginning, a clean slate for us that's truly inspiring. Oblivious this time of failing, to our mentor salute, we shall continue learning. We are closer to our dreams, we are closer to our dreams. Finally we reach the gate to our dreams. It's time to unlock and follow our path. Never been this close before to reach for the top. Remember our friends with fondness, for making us bright those times of darkness, for being our strength in moments of weakness, for being our partners in our happiness and loneliness. We are closer to our dreams, we are closer to our dreams. Finally we reach the point of no return. It's time to give back, now is our turn. Never been this sure before to serve mankind. As we leave these walls, we'll leave our stories behind. We'll make things happen, so help us God. We are closer to our dreams, we are closer to our dreams. Finally we reach the gate to our dreams. It's time to unlock and follow our path. Never been this close close before to reach for the top. We are closer to our dreams. We are closer to our dreams. Finally, we reach the point of no return. It's time to give back. Now is our turn. Never been this close before to serve mankind.
Kay daming pangarap, minsan natutupad, minsan di para sa atin. Sa mga pagkakataong ito, ako'y nagpapasalamat pa rin sa pagsikat ng araw, liwanag ng buwan at bituin, tubig sa dagat, mga puno't bundok, sariwang simoy ng hangin. O kay ganda ng ating mundo, nasisilayan ng aking puso. At sa mga biyayang ito, tupad ng pangarap ko, tupad ng pangarap ko.
To formally end the program, let us have on our screen our Senior High School Assistant Principal, Ma'am Joanna S. Lopez, for the closing remarks.
Before we end today's event, in behalf of our school head, Madam Essie Agpalo, department heads, teaching and non-teaching personnel of Laoac National High School, I would like to congratulate you honor students, graduates, completers, and most especially your proud parents for a job well done. You have finished another milestone in your life, but this is just the beginning of your new journey. Have you asked yourself, what would my future be? The best way to predict your future is by creating it. Yes, you create your own future. In your road to success, you might face a lot of difficulties. It's normal, but eventually, you will reap the fruit of your labor. As the saying goes, success is no accident. It is from hard work, perseverance, learning, studying, sacrifice, and most of all, love of what you are doing or learning to do. Therefore, bring out the fire of willingness that will inspire you to succeed. Always remember that whatever you do and whatever your decisions are, it is you and you alone who decides on what life you want to have and what you want to become. Take it from me. Always put your trust to God, who will always guide you in choosing your decisions. That will give you a better life and will not make you regret at the end. Likewise, be humble as as you reach the top of your success. Soar high, continue chasing your dreams. Make your parents and alma mater proud of you. Once again, congratulations to all of you. Good luck to your next endeavor, and God bless us all.
That concludes our virtual commencement ceremony for the school year 2020-2021.
Once again, congratulations to the graduates of batch 2020-2021. To the parents and teachers, we salute you for a job well done.
These have been the Masters of Ceremony
Gemma Vitorio
and Jarvis M. Escalona signing off.